Hello everybody, welcome back to Feldy, map a farmer yip for Farming Sim 11. I've done a little bit of work off cam, and we're in the potato field at the moment, and I've got most of it licked, and field's almost done, and we've earned a little bit of money. Let me just see kind of what we have in the till. Just a little over 60,000 at the moment, still no debt. And we're slowly but surely getting ready to perhaps get some more equipment. And maybe before we continue or finish our harvest of potatoes here, I think that's what we're doing, if it looks like potatoes, is take a look at some of the things that we still need. Oops, I thought, there we go. I guess I was in the right category already. So we have 60,000-ish of capital. I've mentioned a number of times that I'd like to get a baler and an auto stacker, I think, to take care of a lot of the windrows that we've left behind. Hopefully earn a little bit of money, clean our field up, get it ready for fall tillage. We already have the root digger, but ultimately we need this Bowser in order to haul our biofuel to fulfill mission 2. And also what we're working toward is earning money so we can get into this forager unit. Here's the pickup, that's 45. The forager itself is 145. And then we need this special trailer in order to haul it, another 45. So we're looking at 235, I think, if I did my math right. And I could use some of this to try to get that, but I think it's out of my reach even with debt. So I'm still kind of in earn money mode, if you will. And I think a better buy, at least I'm hoping, I mean, this is some of the gamble a farmer takes, I guess, is to get the baler and the auto stacker. I don't want to handle bales without that auto stacker. Because I don't think the physics on the bales back in this era of Farming Sim were as good, so I definitely want to be able to handle them with this here. So, you know, I can already get both of these really with the capital that I have, plus long-term debt, or long-term debt. I mean, it'll be short-term actually, and I'm going to be paying through the nose with interest. But I think if I finish up my potato harvest here, I can finally maybe purchase some of those other crops. So, you know, and I wanted to try something here. Usually when I harvest this, if I hit, what's the key? I think it's Z that goes to work mode. If I hit Z, it puts the guy on there, and it cocks it out kind of at an angle. But I'm wondering if it'll let me, if I put it back in transport mode, will it still let me turn on the equipment? And it does. Now, one reason I want to try this is it's been very hard for me to do a straight line here. I think in real life this would be done back and forth in rows. You'd never do it the way I've done it, which is round and round. But it's been frustrating trying to line up things properly. So I don't know if it would work better if I had it in this position versus setting it out this way. Maybe next time I'll give that a try. I've done all of it with it out. It's just something I wonder about. It's 6:45 in the morning, and I kind of fast forwarded through the night. We were getting into the dark. Lots of times farmers have to work into the dark, and I did off cam just to try to bring the crop in. That's enough talking. We'll get going here on the harvest. Oh my goodness, that's too fast. Or is it too fast? I guess I hit yellow. I can't even talk right now. What can I say? It's been a long week. I hit 2, and it apparently will harvest at this speed. I really don't know that in real life that it would do this. You know, something I gotta say, this, and I've been trying to research it. I know I've made mention that I'd really like to have a self-propelled root crop harvester to use on this map because I'm hopeful that it can be hired and hopeful that it'll be larger and can get through this quicker so I don't have to use tiny equipment. You know, really, I think Farmer Yip designed this map for multiplayer play. And, you know, if you had an army of guys or whatever playing on this map, no problem. You could sit here and harvest these buds all day long and have a couple guys working on it. Maybe even get a couple of them going in the field. But in this case here, there's just one of me. So I've kind of wanted just a larger harvester to make it a little bit easier. Man, that's kind of a pain just turning the corner. But something I've noticed about this is how quickly it fills. Now I know it doesn't seem like it, but off cam, I have also been working on exactly what I just said, finding and fixing a self-propelled root crop harvester. You know, I found that there were several of them available, but all of them have come with issues. And I don't think a single one of them works or works as intended. I know one of them I would take out to the field. I couldn't even turn it on. You know, in terms of getting it to harvest, it wouldn't even recognize a root crop that was here. So like it wasn't even set up to be a proper harvester. And the small thing that's kind of the bane of this. And see that strip that it left over there. Others, you know, the animation was off. It wouldn't fold up properly, or some of those kinds of things, or it'd have those recurring Lua errors, you know, that would fill up your log file and just rendered the game. It didn't lock it entirely, but you couldn't even get out of the game. I mean, it was just filling the log, you know, with corruption. And so taking all these, you know, about makes a guy want to throw your hands up. There was one that I finally landed on that I think what somebody did, I think what the modder did is they took the one that came from the next version up of Farming Sim, which would be Farm Sim 13. I think that's the first version where the base game had root crops in it. And so they took that model, probably threw it into Blender, and then exported it to a new i3D file that would be recognized by an i3D file as the model file that's opening in the Chinese editor. Exported it so it would be recognized, you know, by Farm Sim 11. And they copied over some XML, and that's pretty much it. So I think I found this thing on ModHoster, modhoster.com, which is a site where probably, arguably, most of the Farm Sim 11 mods that are still hanging out there, you're going to find them probably on ModHoster. And who knows how much longer, let me go clean up these little bits. Who knows how much longer a site like that will keep the old mods. Although it's interesting, you know I mentioned like getting permission from the modder to post Feldy, and there have actually been more Farm Sim 11 mods posted since I put Feldy on there. And I put Feldy up, a few months ago, earlier this year, and right now it's November of 23 as I record this. So people are still putting mods up there, even for Farm Sim. Oh my word. Yeah, this is a frustration. It's like I need to put some pegs on this thing so I can tell where the intake is. I don't know how I would do this in cab. This thing is just so small, and it's hard to tell where the front digger is. tell you what, one frustration I am glad to have left in the dust, and I'm sure it must have been a frustration for anybody watching this, is the constant camera zooming in and out with these tractors, you know, because it detected some collision. So having the no collision camera mod in there really helps. I got a link to that too. I can't say I care for it, you know, when it comes to parking tractors in buildings. I still like it when it zooms to my tractor, but you know what? Most of the time I'm not putting these into a building anyhow, so we'll forego it just to get rid of that extreme annoyance. But anyway, I've been working on a self-propelled harvester, and I have one, and it's going to be a long time before I'm able to afford one, I think. So the things that I did to it and all that jazz, I'll try to go over it once I have the wherewithal to actually purchase one in game. Maybe for the moment, just to briefly show it, it's let me see if I can find it in here. There it is, the Grimme Tektron. I'm pretty sure that came in the Farm Sim 13 for the first time. And also, I mean, we're going to kind of cheat a little bit. If I'm not mistaken, that particular unit harvests potatoes. So it worked fine in this crop here. But in real life, I think that's all it does, or at least in subsequent versions of the game, that's all that they had it do was harvest potatoes. Maybe in real life it does sugar beets also, I don't know. For our purposes, for our purposes in here, I'm gonna have it do both. That way I don't have to go find another mod out there that handles sugar beets and then try to work on that one, you know, to get a workable for in-game. Looks like I am rapidly running out of fuel here, so I'm gonna be glad to finally be done with this field. Yeah, it's just too hard to be able to tell how far over it goes, so I've just been trying to keep my tire right at the edge of the crop. How would you guys harvest all of this? And that guy sitting in back probably feels like he's been on a merry-go-round. He's probably about ready to vomit in all directions with my driving. But you know, this other root crop picker that I've been working on, the Grimme or whatever that is, it doesn't seem to harvest as much as this Bulko, whatever it is. This seems to accumulate it in the tank quicker than it does for the Grimme. And for the life of me, I can't figure out how. I mean, the game has what is called a working area, you know, which is the work area is defined as this tiny little square right here. And this tells the game, hey, whenever I go over it and it's in operation like it is, do something to the ground underneath, you know, so it turns it to the harvested texture and removes all the foliage. And then it also tells the game, hey, we just harvested some crop, here's how much you just took in per square meter on this map. So there's a horrendous lot of you know, computations and things that go on in the Lewis scripts. But that's the work area, and almost every single piece of equipment has a work area of some kind. You know, the cultivator will have a work area that tells it what area of the implement is, you know, for cultivation, and the plow has a work area. A pickup header has a work area to tell it, you know, where to grab the windrow, and so forth and so on. So, and as much as I've read Lua code, it shouldn't matter one particular unit or another. You know, when you define a work area, it's going to measure whatever you send into it, and that's how it'll calculate the yield for a... Oh, what the world? Help! Please tell me I didn't just pop an error, no? Well, I wish I knew what I did. There is some funny business going on. Oh! I'm an idiot. I have no fuel. Now, sure, it'd be nice if my tractor would just, like, turn off, you know, when it doesn't have any fuel, but anyhow, it doesn't do that. Alright, we're gonna get some fuel to the rescue. That was kind of dumb. How many times has it caught me on that? And I've always wondered, you know, hey, this thing won't move, and wonder what in the world is wrong with it, only to discover, like an idiot, that I ran it out of gas. So we'll bring some sauce to the rescue. Oops. I think it went the wrong way. Let's use some of our hard-earned capital to purchase some fuel. It always seems like the last little bit goes by the quickest. Alright, that wasn't too costly. Things work much better when you have gas in the tank. And we're probably gonna make it, maybe getting the rest of this kind of all in the same fill here. But I guess what I was saying is if I took that Grimme Harvester over this same area, I don't think my harvest would, I sure wish I could turn tighter than that. Maybe I just couldn't in real life. But I don't think I would get as much, so you know what? Having the Grimme Harvester might be a catch-22. Spend all this money and get something, and yeah, maybe it'll be a little bit easier. But I can't figure out, you know, just yet why this little unit would land more out of the field than would, you know, the larger Grimme. I mean, when it's measuring a, I mean, it also has a work area just like this one does. And so anyway, that's something I need to kind of figure out, and I don't know the answer yet. Maybe it works better to turn that out way. We are almost done, and of course we left this silly thing parked in the way. Ring around the rosy. It doesn't like turning that way as much. Probably in real life this is the speed you would go, but I don't know about you. It's maybe a potato farmer would disagree. It seems more fun to me to harvest the grains versus this, versus potatoes. And probably all it is it goes quicker, you know, and you make a bigger difference. Last little bit. There, did we get it all? I think we did. Turn this puppy off. Go back to transport mode. Where'd I put my trailer? I think it's down over here. Yeah. I wish there was a place to sell all those sugar beets that we harvested. But as it turns out, we could only get those set up for animal feed. So that's just gonna have to be how it is. So I'm going to take this potato picker here, or root crop harvester, and I'm going to go drop it back where I kind of stored some equipment up here, back at the store for later use. I think I'm going to pick up my cultivator again, and I've got several fields here that are going to need cultivation, and I'm going to switch back to our combine and continue with that. to earn some more money. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So let me get him going out in the field. Bon voyage. Oh, I probably gotta move the dude out of the field. Yep, get the fuel tank out of the way. Oh, look at that hedge, overgrown. I guess I got a little space on that road. Maybe I'll want to get a hedge trimmer sooner than later, just on general principles. So I think I want to put this down and do the outer edge, kind of like we typically do. It's steeper than all get out of here. But if I get the outer round going here, then he should be able to hopefully, oh, look at that, go back and forth without too much hassle. You know, it's times like this right now it makes me wonder if I had truly fixed this, the camera up. It's still bobbing around like a cork. Shoot, I don't know. What I do know is that when you're on a slope, brother, you know it now. It at least has that it brought from the FarmSim 15 version that I kind of modded to put in here. Yeah, it's still pretty early morning. Hopefully you can see all this okay in the video. And I've been enjoying working with this mod, this autopilot mod that I've now installed. That's something else I'm going to install on this root crop harvester, the self-propelled root crop harvester, is not only the ability to hire it, but the ability also to use the autopilot mode, so it can also go round and round in a field. But the thing I can't use it on is for stuff like this, in taking kind of the opening round, if you will, for cultivation. But oh well. I guess y'all don't want me to complain. Maybe that sounds like all I've been doing in here is complaining. But when you got stuff to complain about, maybe that spurs you to look at mods and fix them so they bend to your will instead of not quite having things the way you'd like. Let me get him out of the way. I gotta run him down over the hill. Try to stay out to preserve fuel. You would never do this to a poor tractor, just leaving it dead in the water in the field, unless you were truly done with it for the day. One more little pass, and he's going to be ready to go. And I'm not sure what we're going to plant this to. I think, and I'm just going off of what I see in real life. I don't know that I've ever seen potatoes planted on a hill. I just haven't. Maybe that's realistic, maybe it isn't, I don't know. But I kind of think in the future that if I'm going to do a root crop, I'd like it on a stable surface. So, actually, let me analyze this field here just a little bit. If I do it going forward from where I'm at now, it'll get all the way over here, and then it'll maybe finish out a point. If I do it this way, I'm not sure it'll be able to turn around and come the other way. So, I think, yeah, I'll do it this way. Hopefully get most of the field done, and do the least amount of cleanup later. I'm sure probably anybody listening to this has kind of done that same mental calculus to try to figure out how to best utilize your hired help. Oh, yeah, and we're going to have to fiddle with this guy a little bit to make sure the hire mode is established appropriately. I want to get that as close to 0 as I can. And, alright, that's probably pretty good. I want to make sure, let me delete the old AI course. We'll hold in key 9. And we're going to send this fella off. Bon voyage. Okay. Well, he's politely waiting for us to get off the tractor. Some versions anymore, they would just plow right through you. Anyway, we're going to zip down here. We're going to take this to market. And once again, I think we have around 60,000 of revenue. Ooh, this is kind of a big bump in the field. Look at that. Maybe I should come into the editor and smooth that out so it isn't quite as bumpy. But I don't know. For all I know, Farmer put those in there on purpose, and I've been in lots of fields, and fields come with bumps. What can I say? Alright, to market we go. We'll get a little cash for these. I'm going to just head straight on out. And let me refresh my memory where I'm taking them, because I don't do this every day. Oh yeah, here's like 2 other fields. One's to the right of me and to the upper right. These were fields full of sugar beets. I gotta come and cultivate these to get those prepped for planting. Kind of on our way here. We've left one other field up here. Let me see, what field number is it? Field number 30? Is that what my tired eyes tell me? Field number 30, I think, has peas in it, and we could windrow it, but I'm kind of waiting to windrow it until we actually have the equipment to pick it up. In order to do the ab, we need the forager, we need the header, we need the trailer, we need $235,000 or whatever it was. So that is to come, even as we make our way around the map, harvesting all these fields. And next time we harvest, I hope it's way better, because another thing we need to get is a fertilizer spreader. And that brings me back to mission number 2. We're still working on. Mission number 1 was pretty easy to fulfill. But mission number 2 is taxing us a bit, because we have to do a bunch of work to get enough money to get the parts that we need in order to take care of our sheep. You may recall we need to haul them some water. We also have to haul them some feed stuff, I believe. And feed stuff is what you get when you harvest windrows of peas with a forage harvester, or windrows of red clover. So we have a windrower, so we can easily cut it and put it on the ground, but it's all that other stuff we need in order to pick it up and hand it to our sheep. That's kind of what we're working towards. Like I say, we need money to do that, and as I look at our money store here, 60,000, we probably have enough to get ourselves. Yeah, boy, I just don't remember how much money we earned on bales. So, oh, now this is a ticklish little bridge to get across. But we shall endure. Yeah, I think this is where we bring the root crop. Well, potatoes, not all roots. I'd love to bring in some sugar beets, but as this is a brewery down here, I imagine nobody just takes a sugar beet in. Get a view of the bay, still in the sunrise this morning. All dumped, and what do we have now? 63,000. Not even that much money, but what can I say? It is what it is. But it should be enough to get us a baler and something to pick up the bales. And when I get back up here, we're going to continue, I think, grain harvest. There is a couple fields of barley up here, and I think we'll tackle those next. There may be several of them before we kind of take our combine and equipment a little bit further over the mountains, if you will. We can't really see the whole thing at the moment. To go tackle some OSR, and I'm not sure what else over there. Maybe there is some additional barley. Whatever's kind of up in the upper left quadrant of the map. Just to earn some more cash as we go. And folks, you know what? That is the bell. We'll keep this going till we get up to the field, and we'll see kind of how our cultivator is doing. Once again, it amazes me how quickly 30 minutes goes by. And I just want to say again, that timer that I use in these was given to me by a friend that has passed on now, and hopefully nobody minds hearing that. You know what, I'm just going to cut across here. This is a harvested field, so we're not driving over crop. But every time I hear the thing ticking and hear it ring, it reminds me of him, so you know what, I'm going to keep using it. Hopefully nobody's offended. Looks like we're coming back with a somewhat decent tank of fuel, but I think we left with a less full trailer. And I gotta say, I mean, if I ever have any substantial root crops again, and I don't think I'm done with them, by the way. There's a field dead ahead where it's full of sugar beets, kind of down over the hill, if you will, over here. And then there's another one way over on the far side that that also needs harvesting. I may still have to do it with this little old machine over here. I call it old. Maybe it isn't old. This Bolco. It's just small. I may have to do those. Yeah, there it is. Right off to the right of me is one of those fields, and then the other one is way off to the right. So, yeah. We'll just have to play along and do the best we can with what we have, and as soon as I can afford a bigger one, I'm gonna make the jump. So we have in here 2 fields of barley, and that's probably what I'm gonna focus on next in terms of harvest. So thank you all for joining me today in Feldy. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next time. Take care for now.